So when you hear the number $650 million, what are you thinking? What exactly is going through your head when you think of such a huge number like that? Personally, I'm thinking of huge, massive company deals with like people who own oil refineries or people like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk. I'm thinking of Elon's SpaceX program taking 500,000 humans and just shipping them off to Mars to live for the rest of their lives. Well, in this particular scenario, $650 million is actually coming from somewhat of a deal from Jeff Bezos. Now, I'm sure he must not have too much to do with this particular topic, but still, it lies under his company. It's come out how much money this new Lord of the Rings TV show coming out on Amazon has cost. And it is a number for a TV show I never thought I would ever hear in my life. If you want the link to the article, I will post it in the description. You can go read it for yourself. But the main point of this article is that this new Lord of the Rings show cost $650 million for one season. The actual production cost $465 million, with a total coming to $650. So I assume the rest of that total is all about, paying the cast and the crew, marketing and all that type of stuff. This is not just the most expensive TV show ever created. This is over $500 million just to create one show. Take into consideration some of the things that were huge budgeted shows or movies, but not $500 million. You have, for example, Zack Snyder's Justice League, which was $320 million to start off with, and then I believe that extra $80 million they gave him, if not more, pretty much brought him up to $400 million. That's $400 million for one movie that ended up being more than 4 hours, or close to more than 4 hours. Then you have a hugely popular show in Game of Thrones. Every episode was about $10 million to make, and that would be 10 episodes every season, which came up to $100 million a season. 100% Game of Thrones is a show that over its course was probably more than $1 billion in production. But they surely made their money from that. But even still, one season of Game of Thrones did not cost $500 million to make. So what did the other Middle-earth movies look like with its production, such as Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit? Well, when I was looking it up, I think the highest budget for any of those movies was actually Battle of Five Armies, which is the third Hobbit film, and that was almost $200 million in budget. And to think too, the Hobbit films were not as practical as Lord of the Rings. They used more post-production and CGI. And CGI ain't cheap. And this part in the article, from someone named Stuart Nash, the New Zealand Minister for Economic Development and Tourism, told the Morning Report, "What I can tell you is Amazon is going to spend about $650 million in one season alone." This is $500 million. Do you know what you could do with $500 million? I don't know, so tell me. Clearly you can make a Lord of the Rings show out of it. Nowadays when I think of movies and TV shows, usually TV shows I don't ever hear of something so absurd like this. But movies, I think a movie with a huge budget is $300 to $400 million. That's a big budget to me. But then you look at this, $650 million. For a TV show, and there's no details yet. There's no details on how many episodes we're getting, what the quality of the show is going to look like. I mean, it better be good if it's $650 million. And we also just don't know how many episodes there are. If there's 10 episodes, say, because that's what I personally think there's going to be. If there's 10 episodes in this Lord of the Rings show, then that must mean that a lot of money goes into each episode. Over $50 million in each episode, I'd be thinking. Jeff Bezos is just so rich, and he's just got so much going on for him and his company Amazon. They're just dabbling in so much stuff. They got the online shopping, they got now TV shows with Amazon Prime and stuff like that. You got this new football deal, you got this $650 million deal for a Lord of the Rings show. Like, what did he do? I'm just saying, what if he's the one who just signed off on this $650 million deal? Like, how do you think he did it? Do you think he was like sleeping and he was like, what? 650 mil? Oh yeah, okay. And just hands it to whoever's in charge? Like, You know, he's probably thinking like $650 million. Oh, I can only spend that amount 500 million times, you know? Like, there's gonna come a time where I just can't spend that much money. Oof. Or do you think he's on the phone and he's like, yep, no, I'm here. What? Sir, there's a deal for the new Amazon Lord of the Rings show, and they need $650 million, if not more, to actually complete. That's fine. I'm trying to buy America here right now, okay? Just give me my checkbook. Thank you, sir. We'll make sure this gets done. Yeah, great. See ya. Anyway, so can I be president yet? Man, I don't know. This is some wild shit, man. I never thought the day would come where we would be seeing movies with these massive budgets. Because now it just makes me think that anything's possible. And the funny thing is this isn't even a movie. This is a TV show. Now there's just so much riding on this show. They gotta get it right. They have to stick with Tolkien's feel of Middle-earth. It's just the same way like it would go for Star Wars. Disney's gotta get it right. They have to keep that George Lucas effect, which they didn't in 7, 8, 9, but they're making up for it now. So with a budget of $500 million, if not more, they really need to make sure that it stays as Tolkien as possible. Sure, you can dabble and do your own ideas and have your own flavor to it, but you can't get this wrong. Because imagine getting a show like this, Lord of the Rings, wrong. And I think even the crazy thing about this as well is that they want to do 5 seasons of this, plus spin-off shows. Who knows if they might even create more ideas to do more than just 5 seasons. So if one season is $650 million, how much is every other season gonna cost, including your spin-off shows? $650 million for each? By the end of all of this, we're looking at like a $10 billion deal, if not more, if it just continues to continue. Like, could you imagine Jeff Bezos is just writing on the checkbook and his secretary or whoever's handling this business deal is like, sir, this says 650 trillion. And he goes like, yeah, isn't that what you needed? Oh, you need more than 650 trillion? Oh yeah, hold on one second, let me just write you a new one. Anyways, not much else is known about this show right now other than the fact that it takes place thousands of years before Lord of the Rings. I do think they saw how successful a show like Game of Thrones could be, so they thought to themselves, why not do something in the Middle-earth series with Lord of the Rings? Maybe show the history of how we get to Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit and stuff. Anyways, in the meantime, I'm just gonna go off and remember how poor I am. Thanks, Jeff. Peace.